Haruna Rasenjai scored his first professional goal in his young career. Momodu Bojang and Yusufa Bob double acted to give Kaukap Marrakesh a vital 3-0 win in their chase for promotion. Azam and Jibril Sillah fell short in the finals of the Tanzanian Cup, and Abdullah Jallo Germano returned for Metz, but unfortunately he could not inspire them to avoid the drop. Assalamu alaikum Bokai. Welcome back to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, the home of Gambian football. I am Chama, and this is the Scorpions Weekend Recap. Guys, if you are new around the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoy this video, please give it a like. Without wasting much of your time, guys, let's get right into the discussion. Yeah, today we start our discussion in Latvia. Harna Rasinjai was in action last midweek and also in action this weekend. In the midweek game, they won 6-0 against Meta, and Harna Rasi started that game. Actually, he opened the scoring, which was his first professional goal in his career. Up until recently, he was, getting a few minutes here and there, but we see in the last 2 or 3 games he was getting some starts, and he is impressing because in that 6-0 game he was well rated in that game. He was even added into the Latvian fantasy team of the team of the week. Basically, it does not mean much. It's just a fantasy amount of points that he accumulated because he scored a goal. And if people know how fantasy work, but yeah, to see him doing well and to see him starting games for them, having impact in games, that is beautiful to see, because of course Harna Sinjai is somebody that has been pinpointed as a future player for the Gambia national team. The role he plays is an area where Gambia are not very much stocked. So it is important that his pathway or he start to grow as a footballer and doing well for his club at RFS in Latvia. So they also played in the weekend. He did not start that game, but he came off the bench. They won that game again. They won that game 5-0. It seems RFS are quite strong for teams in the Latvian league. They are currently at the top of the table with 5 points at the top. So it's good to see Rasinjai doing really well with that club. And I'm sure some people were wondering, why was he not invited to the national team recently? Maybe that one is a little bit early, but I'm sure it is just a matter of time before we see him, banging on that or knocking on that door to get an international call up to the national team, because of the coach we have currently. Is giving a lot of opportunity to youth players, to young players, and Rashid is one of those players that I'm sure he's keeping an eye on. So let him just keep doing what he is doing in Latvia, and hopefully it's just a matter of time before we see him in the national team setup. Next we move to France. Germano, Abdullah Jallo, he was involved in a very, very important game. It was the playoffs of the French league, because they finished 16 in the league table, and so it meant they were in the playoffs against the team that finished third in Ligue 2. So that was Saint Etienne. So they played the first leg earlier in the week. They lost the game 2-1 in Saint Etienne. Ablai was not involved in that one because he was nursing an injury, but fortunately for them, he returned in the second leg, but that was not enough to prevent them from avoiding the relegation. The game ended 2-2. And then Saint Etienne won the game 4-3 on aggregate. It actually went all the way to extra time, and then Saint Etienne scored a goal in the around with 5 minutes to go to qualify or to win the promotion. Metz really fought hard, to be honest. They were quite unfortunate because they had an early red card in that one in the 5th minute of the game, or in the 6th minute of the game. Jallo, the Senegalese player, Jallo, I think you guys will remember him in the African Cup of Nations, under 20 African Cup of Nations. He was the leading goal scorer, I believe, or he scored a hat-trick in that competition. At least I can remember that, but I'm not sure if he finished that competition as the leading goal scorer. Yeah, he got a red card early on in the game, and it was a very unfortunate red card. I will not say it was not a red card. I think it was a red card, but it was an unfortunate one. Some of those tackles that you don't mean to do, but it ended up being endangering the opponent. And in today's football, that is a red card. So it was unfortunate for him. I can see him crying. I know he did not mean to do that, especially in that early on in the game, 6 minutes of the game, doing silly things. I'm sure he did not mean to do that, but at the end of the day, it's football. Sometimes accidents leads to red card, and that is the case. So Metz played the entire 115 minutes, because it went all the way to extra time. The entire 115 minutes with 10 men, and the game, and at that point it was 0-0. Metz did manage to go 2-0 up, which would have would have been enough for them to qualify, or would have been enough for them to stay in Liga, to stay in Liga. But unfortunately, Saint Etienne were ready for the fight. They came back, and they scored one, and they even scored another one, which was ruled out by VAR. And then in extra time, they made their numbers count, because they had the advantage of the 11 versus 10 for 115 minutes, so they made it count in the final. Abdoulaye Diallo played just 45 minutes. He started the game. He returned from his injury, started the game, played the first half of the game, which I think indicates that he should be fit for the Gambia national team for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. We will see about that one, because I think coach spoke about that. That Abdoulaye Diallo was not 100% available, or was not 100% fit. That's why he chose to pick 24-man squad. In case Abdoulaye is not available, then it will have a 23-man squad in the end. So yeah, we will wait and see on that one. He played 45 minutes and was substituted. I don't know why he was substituted. Was it because he had a knock or not? I actually watched the second half of the game, and then I later watched the highlights of the game. He was not really in the game, to be honest. Maybe he was not feeling 100% fit, so maybe that's why also the coach took him off at halftime. So next season they're gonna be playing in League 2, which is very unfortunate. Now we will see what happened with Ablai. He did really well with them in the league, in League 2 last season, helping them gain that promotion. So now they are going back there. So we will have to wait on that one and see what is gonna maybe he's gonna stay, or if somebody else need him. But it's very unfortunate. I know we are celebrating a lot of Gambian players doing really well this season, winning trophies and stuff like that, but there are a few also suffering the fate of relegation, which is, at the end of the day, it is football. So sometimes it happens. Of course, it's not nice to see our Gambian brothers, being in that kind of situation, suffering relegation with their clubs. We want to see them, move up, winning trophies and stuff like that. Is the one we most. But it's about football. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. And in this situation, Metz and Germano are going down to Ligue 2. With Saint Etienne, staying. Like gaining the promotion from Ligue 2 to Ligue 1. We move on to Morocco. There is also another interesting one going there. We have a couple of players playing for Kaukak Marrakesh. We have Mamadou Bojang and Yusuf Abob playing for the Moroccan second division team. They were also playing, I think it was on Friday. They won the game 3-0. Mamadou Bojang scored a brace in that one, and the other goal was scored by Yusuf Abob. So the two Gambian combined to give Kaukap a very, very important win. They are now just 2 games to go in the Moroccan League. Just 2 games left to go in the Moroccan League. Kaukak Marrakesh are now currently sitting at 3rd place. So in the Moroccan League, I think two teams actually gain promotion from the second division. So Kaukap are 3 points behind the team that are sitting in second place. So they need to win their next 2 games and hope that the team in second place can drop some points. But yeah, that's why the win was very important for them to keep pace with the team in second place. So it was good to see the two Gambians combining and then, making the impact for their club. 3-0 win for Kaukap Marrakesh. Like I say, Mamadou Bojang scoring a brace, which was his 8th league goal of the season. And Yusuf Bob scoring the other one. Next, another interesting one this weekend was Tanzania in the Tanzanian Cup finals. We know Jibril Sillah, he's the Jello Football Bantaba Player of the Month, Scorpions Player of the Month for the month of May because of for his wonderful for his wonderful form in the month of May, where he scored 4 goals and assisted 5 goals in 7 games, and he won the votes by a landslide victory. I think no player, no other player even came close to him. I think Omar Kori was second, but he was not even close to Yusuf Abo, to Jibril Silla, as you guys voted. So they were in action playing the finals of the Tanzanian Cup. It must have been a very difficult week for him because just recently, like Friday, Coach Johnny named his 24-man squad, and everybody who followed Jibril this season was expecting to see him in the squad because of the form he had. 9-goal involvement. No Gambian player all season long has produced those kind of numbers within a month. So that is the best month in terms of goal involvement that a Gambia has produced all season long. So it was unexpected, or like many people thought he should have been in the squad. So for him to miss out, I'm sure he will be disappointed as well, because if you look at his form and the form of other players, but of course at the end of the day, it's a selection, and the coach pick players that he prefer to go with. So I know his head must be down a little bit, but he don't need to. He just need to keep doing his thing, and hopefully one day his opportunity will arrive, and he will be in the national team. So he played from that disappointment, he went and played the finals of the Tanzanian Cup with Azam. The game ended 0-0. Jibril played the whole game, 120 minutes of that game. So they went to penalty shootout, a very interesting penalty shootout, and then they lost it against Young Boys Yanga, who are the champions. So Young Boys did the double in the Tanzanian Cup. Congratulations to them. So Azam were so close to winning this one, to be honest. Even in the penalty shootout, they were very close. Well, Azam scored their first 2 penalties, whilst Young Boys missed their first 2 penalties. So you can imagine if after that you will have think, oh, Azam are cruising with this one, but you have to think twice. Then Azam missed their next penalty, and then Young started scoring their penalties, scored, and then Jibril Silla come and kick the 4th penalty. He missed. He hit the post. He hit the post, outside of the post, and then the ball went out. So it has been a very difficult past 3 days for him, despite him winning the Yellow Football Wantaba Player of the Month. But it has been a difficult few days for him, because Friday he missed out on the squad, and on Sunday he was missing a penalty in the cup finals, and then they ended up losing that finals. It was really difficult. So yeah, we try to he should just try to keep his head up and think about the positive things, and understand that it's football. Sometimes these negative things also come along the way, but it is what it is. I'm sure he's a tough cookie. I'm sure he will get through it. The worst part is the season has ended, so he don't have any other game. That was the final game that they have to play this season. So now it's gonna be the whole summer thinking about those kind of things. But I believe he's a tough guy. He's a tough cookie, I'm sure. And the form he has been producing for his club, he's the best player in the Tanzanian league when it comes to players who joined the Tanzanian league, like the best addition to the Tanzanian league. Nobody came close to him when it comes to the numbers and all that. So yeah, this is part of it. This is the part of it. It is the nature of the game. You win some, you lose some. Like I say, it's a sad one for him, but yeah, let him keep his head up and then keep moving forward. Hopefully, his chance with the national team will come very, very soon. Yeah. So send some love to Jibril Silla. Of course, he's on Instagram and all whatnot. So send him some love. He has been doing really well, and then to end the season like this is not really nice. And finally, today we will talk about our players, some players in Norway. There was a class of Gambians, I would say. KFUM were playing against Sanajo, and it was a classic game, to be honest. I watched the highlights of the game. It was a very, very interesting game. KFUM, where we have Momodu Lion Jai playing, and Musa Njai as well, who also could represent the Gambia. And then you have Sandej Joff, where we have Maudo Jaju Chuka playing for Sandej Joff. He moved there earlier in the season. So it was an interesting game. Mamadou Lion there did start the game, played the whole 90 minutes, and but Chuka was an unused sub for Sunday Joff. the game ended 3-3. And to tell you, the first half was dull, 0-0, a very boring first half game. Except there was a red card in the first half. Standard Job had a had a blatant red card. The guy, he miscontrolled the ball, and then the KFUM player was breaking on like breaking into the goal, or with an open chance of scoring the goal, and then the guy held him. So yeah, did that silly stuff. Yeah, and then he got the red card. He got his matching orders around the 38th minute. And then the game went on to the second half. It was 0-0 for the first 10-15 minutes of the second half. Still nothing. But then once KFUM scored, they scored their first goal in that one. Then Standard Job came back and then scored another one, making it 2-1. KFUM came back again and then making it 2-2. Then in the final few minutes, Standard Job scoring another one around the 81st minute. And then KFUM scored another one. It was a thriller, 3-3 thriller. Mamadou Lion Jai was playing. He played the whole game. I saw the goals they considered. I wouldn't say he was at fault on any goal that they considered. He was decent in the game. The first goal they considered was their goalkeeper, who made a very, very risky pass into their normal defensive midfielder, and then they hassled him. Of course, nowadays football is all about setting traps and then pressing teams, and then they press them, win the ball, and then they scored from that, result in counter-attacking chance. Then the second one, their defender also made a mess. The right-sided defender, who was partnered in Lion Jai, made a mess. Ball coming up from the air to clear the ball. He did not clear the ball, and then the drop ball, the striker just collect the ball and then finish. And then they ended up 3-3. Lion played the whole game. And elsewhere in Norway, Stroms got set, where we have Dudi the guy who is just being invited to the national team after a very long time without invitation. His club was playing. They drew 1-1. He did not play. He was on the bench on youth sub. I was doing the Gambia football show this weekend, and I think somebody was commenting about Dudu the guy. He's always in the team, but he never plays. He did not play a lot of minutes this season. But of course, you have to understand from the point of view of Coach Johnny, because he's coming and he's defensive. He's having a defensive crisis. I would say a lot of defensive players in the national team are currently injured or unavailable. Some of them are injured, some of them are unavailable, I believe. So he had to turn back to other players. He had to look for other options. That's why, even if you listen to the Gambia football show this weekend, Space was saying that he could have turned to the Gambia National League, and maybe if he bring in a player into the national team setup, to use that opportunity to bring to integrate someone. But I was listening to Coach too as well on his interview with Gambia Radio and Television Services. He was talking about like the same question was asked to him. You are inviting players from Senegal. Don't forget about Idrissa. You're inviting players from Senegal. Why don't you look at the players in the Gambia League? He answered it, okay, I would say, but it's the same thing, I would say, because what he was trying to say was that he don't want to bring in players just for the sake of bringing them into the national team, and then like for example, if they play and then it overwhelm them because of the level they are coming from and all whatnot. So he want to make it like when he select a player for the national team, it should be something that should be continuous, not just a player coming in and then you are never seen in the national team setup again. So he want to create that kind of thing. It is understandable, but I think it's similar thing to the Senegal Idrissa coming from Senegal. Of course, Idrissa have some experience playing in the Gambia under 20 with Matan Boj, but playing for the Gambia under 20 and playing for the senior national team is completely different ball game. So I think he could have used this opportunity to at least integrated one player from the leagues, from the Gambia National League. Just give that opportunity, because there are some players who have similar experience as Idrissa. Idrissa, the only experience that he did have over them is playing in Senegal. But in terms of playing under 20, we have Lama, the centre back who was captain in the under 20 in the recent All Africa games. He was also with the party that went to Argentina. He was training with the team, even though he was not playing, but he was with the squad that went to Argentina. He was with the team that win the African Cup of Nations with the under 20. That went to the final of the African Cup of Nations. So there are some players who are of similar experience to those in Senegal, like Idrissa. So he could have chosen another one and then put them there. So it was a missed opportunity, I believe, because we are going into the World Cup qualifier with just 3 internationals, with just 3 central defenders, and 2 of them are inexperienced. So you could have added another one. But anyways, guys, that was the weekend recap. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please make sure you smash the like button, and I will catch you guys on the next one.